In this video tutorial, we're going to demonstrate how you can create your own freeform HTML pop-up using the Intelligent WP Pop-up plugin, similar to the one that you're seeing right here. Now, in addition to creating autoresponder pop-ups using pre-configured templates, the Intelligent WP Pop-up plugin also allows you to create your own freeform HTML pop-up. So this way you have the freedom to design whatever form and styling you wish. So let's get started. After logging into our WordPress administration panel, we want to go to our settings section, and from there we're going to click on the IntelliWP pop-up link. And this takes us to the Intelligent WP pop-up configuration page. Now, to create our customized freeform HTML pop-up, we're going to use the pre-configured pop-up, which is called freeform HTML. So that's the second one on the list there. So what we will do is now click on the edit link for that particular pop-up. Now we're inside the edit window for the freeform HTML pop-up. And it's in here where we're going to insert our own customized HTML code for our particular pop-up. Now, to do that, we'll scroll down to the section called Customize HTML. Now, it's in this section where we will actually insert the HTML and CSS styling code. And to do this, we'll need to click on the blue HTML button, which is located on the top left-hand corner. Now, once we do that, we can see the default HTML text that's in here, and what we will do is overwrite this text with our own HTML code. Now, let's have a look at the example code we're going to paste in here. Our example code will contain styling CSS code, which is this code at the top here, and if I scroll down, we can see the form HTML code, which is located here. So let's select all of this code and we'll copy this code. Now we'll go back to our pop-up window and we're going to paste over the top of the default code. So we'll go ahead and paste that. So we've pasted our styling and HTML code for our form. So what we want to do now is we'll click outside of that window and then we'll scroll down to a section called the preview section. And here we can see our form. That's our form done. We will now save our form. So we'll scroll down to the bottom and we'll click on the checkbox next to the Save This Pop-up As, and then we'll name this particular form to Test HTML. And then we'll save this by clicking on the Save button. Okay, so now we've successfully created our own HTML form, and next we'll click on the Manage Pop-up link. And that takes us to the pop-up window, which lists all of the pop-ups currently created. And if we scroll down in the Customize Pop-up section, we can see our Test HTML pop-up is now listed. And we can preview this pop-up by clicking on the Preview link. Our pop-up looks just as we want it to, so we'll click on the X. And now we can go on to our next step, which is creating a trigger. So what we want to do next is we want to add a trigger for this particular pop-up so that when a visitor comes to our site, this particular trigger will be linked to the pop-up we've just created and it will display for our visitor. So to add a trigger, we'll click on the Add Trigger link menu item at the top there. And that takes us into the Add Trigger configuration page. And we'll now go ahead and fill in the basic details for this particular trigger. So we've filled in the basic details for our trigger, and there's an important point I want to highlight here, and that is the registered pop-up field. There I've chosen our particular pop-up which we just created, which was called test HTML. So this will directly link this trigger to the freeform HTML pop-up we've just created. And the status is active, which means this trigger is currently active. So the next thing we need to do is set the trigger condition. So we'll scroll down, and in the section called Trigger Conditions, we'll choose the Visitor is not logged in trigger condition. So we'll click on that radio button there. And this particular trigger will fire when a visitor who comes to our site is not logged in, which means that the pop-up will display for this particular visitor. So we've set our trigger, and we're now going to scroll down to the bottom and click the Update button to save our new trigger. So our trigger has been successfully created. We're now going to click on the Manage Triggers menu item, which is the second on the top there. And in the Manage Triggers window, we can see a list of all the triggers we've created, and right down the bottom there we can see our new trigger, which we called HTML trigger, and its status is active, and the pop-up for which this trigger is actually linked to is our test HTML pop-up. So now we've set up our pop-up and we've created a trigger and linked our trigger to our pop-up. We can now demonstrate this pop-up by going to our website as a not logged in user. So using another browser window, I'm now going to go to my website. So I'll enter the URL of my website and I'll press enter. And as a non-logged in user, as expected, our pop-up has appeared for me. And this concludes this Intelligent WP pop-up tutorial. I hope you found it useful. Bye for now.